politics to technology. And that's what we do here on Newspunch, from the beginning to the end. And that is why we are there. Keep watching Newspunch from Ben Television. And today, I'll be your host. From politics. All right, thank you for joining us on the program today. Good evening. My name is Tunde Alabi. Happy New Year. It's a pleasure to have you join us on our program today, Newspunch, this beautiful Wednesday evening. On the show today, we are in Nigeria and we are looking at issues around the Financial Regulation Council, the presidency, specifically President Muhammadu Buhari's action in sacking the Secretary General of the Financial Reporting Council, Jim Obasa. Of course, his sacking is no longer news. And of course, the fact that he's sacking and the decision of the government to suspend that controversial code that led to the exit of Pastor Adeboye as the GO of the Redeemed Christian Church of God Nigeria chapter has not only created religious crisis, seemed to have created religious crisis, but it seemed to have divided the country. In fact, some have said the sacking and the suspension of the code is a good omen to keep the government away from interfering with religious organizations in Nigeria, while others saw the sacking of Jim Obasa as a very good omen. Or they said it's a bad omen that Jim Obasa has been sacrificed by the President Muhammadu government on the altar of religious hypocrisy for the 2019 ambition of Mr. President. But what is key to this program is this. Is anything wrong with making religious bodies which operate as charity and non-governmental organizations accountable to the government of Nigeria? Now let's look at this scenario. Between 2002 and 2006, it's no longer news that the UK Charity Commission held Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo of the KICC down in a massive investigation involving what it called serious lack of control over the finances of KICC as a church and that of Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo as an individual. And of course, the Charity Commission went on to investigate KICC and Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo between 2002 and 2003. Neither Pastor Ashimolowo as a person or KICC as a church, nor the Christian community in the United Kingdom as a group rose up to condemn the government of the United Kingdom, the charity organization, nor resisted the moves of the Charity Commission, neither the moves of the government of the United Kingdom. They all complied and submitted themselves to the rules of the UK government relating to financial regulation coordinated by the Charity Commission. The same vein, between 2013 and 2016, Bishop David Oyedepo of the Winners Church had to submit with all his caliber and might in Nigeria to the UK Charity Commission between 2010 and 2016, while a case of £60 million misappropriation was opened against him. And of course, the church and its trustee did not query the activities of the UK government, neither did they query the activities of the Charity Commission. They humbly submitted to every single requirement of the government of the United Kingdom through the UK Charity Commission. In fact, they had to do everything within their power to clear their names. Eventually, Bishop Oyedepo and the Winners Ministry in the United Kingdom were cleared of any form of misappropriation after they have diligently and duly paid their price, submitted to the requirement, and committed to every rule of the Charity Commission after they have submitted every request made by the Charity Commission on behalf of the government of the United Kingdom. And this is what we're looking at. If those powerful churches could submit to the government of the United Kingdom, if these powerful churches in UK that have their authorities and headquarters in Nigeria could submit to the Charity Commission, Why are they resisting the hand of the government of Nigeria in their financial activities in that country, Nigeria? Is Nigeria less of a country? This is what we're looking at on the program today. My name is Tunde Alabi, and we're looking at why are Nigerian churches resisting government control over their finances. And I've just given you a very good case study of how those churches submitted to the UK government and, of course, submitted to the charity organization. This is what we cannot explain. But I've got some gentlemen in the studio that can help us look at what is going on in Nigeria. And, of course, among the issues we'll be taking a look at on the show today is the alacrity and the seriousness with which Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari suspended Jim Obase of the Financial Regulation Council over what he termed, over what the GEO, former GEO of RCCG, termed the unnecessary intrusion of government into churches' activity. Of course, that led to the sacking of Jim Obase. Of course, what people are saying these days, why did it take the government almost immediate, less than 48 hours to respond? But up to today, the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, under President Muhammadu Buhari, had not even issued a single statement to the killing of several hundreds of people in the southern Kaduna or in other parts of Nigeria that have been massacred by S-men. This is how you should be taking a look at on today. Is Nigeria less of a country? Why are religious bodies resisting the government? Why did the government of Nigeria find it serious to respond to just a resignation of one man over the killing of several hundreds of people in Nigeria? My name is Tunde Alabi. Again, my guests, let me bring them to you. At the point, we're going to open the phone line, be able to contribute to the show. First, I introduce Fatai Ogundebido, a columnist, of course, and a publisher and an analyst. Fatai, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for inviting me.
And all the way from Nigeria, a diaspora who relocated to Nigeria to find life, and of course, in Nigeria political system and making waves within the non-governmental sector as well. Honorable John Omotola Suarez. John, thank you for being part of the program.
Thank you very much.
And also joining us is another erudite professor who is doing very well in the UK and Nigeria, who has a grassroots mobilization organization called the Grassroots Mobilization for Good Governance in Nigeria, Professor Ali Alao. Prof, thank you for joining us on the program today.
Thanks for having me once again.
All right, gentlemen, you've all listened to my intro over what I termed why are Nigerian churches resisting government control over their finances, when we do know that these churches at some point in time have humbly submitted to the government of the United Kingdom through the Charity Commission, and they are filing all their papers, the same thing in America, in the UK, but they are resisting government's hand in Nigeria. Is Nigeria less of a country? Fatai, let me start with you.
Well, actually, we know the type of society that currently we are made of. Well, it has actually told us the extent to which this government carries out its hypocritical sort of activities.
Why do you use the word hypocritical?
Well, I have to use that because we know that you said earlier on, hundreds and hundreds massacred in southern Kaduna. No reaction from the government as at now. But let's remember that the vice president of Nigeria is from RCCG. Sort of, so certain interests are being protected here. Even the guy that has been given a responsibility to actually, do official duty for the benefit of the nation is being sacked. Why? Simply because the government is looking at Adeboye as a main asset. As you rightly put it, in the next election. So embarrassing him at this level of, political sort of preparedness for 2019 is going to cast aspersions on, many of the things that the government is doing, and they're giving them a bad image that in the mind of every RCCG people, our overseer is being embarrassed.
You see what happened. Are you saying that what happened to Jim Obase concerning the Financial Regulation Council and, of course, his sacking has to do with the influence of the vice president, who is a member of the RCCG?
Naturally, because the vice president actually is a RCCG member. And for the overseer of that, religious sect to be so, embarrassed in being given, in being assumed as having so much duty, so much, to his kitty. Definitely, the government has to intervene, because they wouldn't want a situation whereby Adeboye will be embarrassed. Will be embarrassed, because it's going to be at the detriment of the success of this government in next election.
Prof. Okay, let me allow you to react. Yeah. How do you see that? Do you think government is actually not have done right in intervening or sacking Jim Obasi? How do you recap that experience?
Thank you. I beg to differ from Mr. Fatai for that comment. It's a heavy word to use, hypocrisy of the government or any individual, so to speak. In your open statement, there are two case stories you presented as per this country. Well, in what way is it different in Nigeria? Nigeria is a unique case when it comes to religion, most especially the religious leader. Well, to say that is due to the fact that they are this wholesale or campaign strategy for 2019, I guess not. Or not because of the VP, the Vice President, Professor Shibajo, being a member of this very Christian nomination organization. No, we don't know what goes behind the scene.
What could have gone
the
behind
government have to look at the big picture in the interest, not just of the church, but in the interest of the whole populace, the whole Nigeria.
Prof, give us an instance. What do you think would have made the government to sack Jim Obasi for carrying out his responsibility? He did not set this rule.
I should say this is a civil servant, if I'm not mistaken. This is a civil servant, and again, we need to look at the big picture. Every individual can be sacked or resign. Maybe we should use a mild word. The man was forced to resign, or he resigned.
Sacked.
Sacked. That's the word they use. But in the West here, they don't say sack. They will say the man resigned, but you don't know what goes behind the scene. So now, if he's sacked or resigned, he must have been employed and serving the federal government or the interest of whoever must have, employed him in the first place. It's not about one man or an entity. We need to look at the big picture. In order, we cannot, because of the interest of one person.
Whose interest are the church?
It's not about, excuse me please, I won't say about any of the religious leaders' interests, but the whole country's interest at a whole is what we need to really focus on. So to say we sacrifice somebody's in order to fulfill the political process for the 2019, that's preposterous. I find that to be extreme.
Honorable Flowers. Yes. Jim Obasi had this job intact up until Pastor Adeboye resigned.
Okay.
Suddenly, he was sacked for making churches try to comply with financial regulations that are set everywhere, anywhere in the world for charity organizations. Would you agree with Prof about his submission?
Well, I agree with Prof.
That.
And the reason being is because, number one, when you look at...
What was the agreement?
Yeah, I will let you know. Let me finish my my statement. The reason why I agree with Prof is because, number one, Nigeria is a very big country.
No, Honorable, no. I said, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with him.
Prof made a couple of things.
Yeah.
Plus included the fact that the sacking of Jim Obasi, I said in my opening, that his sacking has divided Nigeria. Some saw it as a very good domain. Some saw it as sacrificing Jim Obasi on the altar of religious hypocrisy just to please Mr. President ahead of 2019. And Prof disagreed on that statement.
I disagree too.
You disagree that the sacking of Jim Obasi was in order?
Well, the sacking of...
was in order.
I wouldn't
if you
use
disagree,
if I wouldn't use the word
sacking is not...
I wouldn't use the word was in order. Anyone could be sacked, anyone could be fired. You're working for the government. You understand? And when it comes to governmental system, you need to look at the national security. When an issue becomes a very serious issue like religion that you're talking about, it's a very serious matter. So Mr. President needs to take a decision.
A bold action.
You know, you need to take a bolder step to actually, you know, look into it as a matter of order before it become a very, big problems. So this is the reason why I think that Mr. President is actually right with that decision.
So for doing your job, you didn't set the code. You were Jim Obasi. You did not set the code. The code has been set on a national level, passed as a rule. And you decided as part of your integrity to effect what a country has set as a rule and a code. You were sacked. You said that is justified.
Well, I wouldn't say to you that's justified, but what I'm simply saying, no, don't twist my word. What I'm simply saying to you is that so much go on behind the scene. There's a lot you don't know. There's a lot we don't know. And I can only talk from what I know. You understand? But with what we have on the ground right now, even United Kingdom, even in America, national security, when it comes to national security, this is a very serious issue.
Okay, so religious matter,
religious matter is a very serious and it's a very sensitive matter that need to be looked into properly. So based on that fact, I will stand by Mr. President.
So let me stay with you, Honorable. Yes. Honorable. National security led Mr. President to sack Jim Obasi.
In my own opinion.
In your own opinion.
Yeah.
And the national security is that it was becoming a religious matter. And religious matters are sensitive matters in Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
Nigeria at a point was becoming divided over Jim Obasi's decision to implement that rule. Yes? So to avoid a disaster, religious crisis, that is not set over one religious body but affects all angels and religious matter, Mr. President had to sack Jim Obasi. Right. But is the issue of the killing of people in Nigeria by herdsmen and in southern Kaduna not an issue of national security? Is it not? Honorable, I'm coming to you. Well, is it not a national security?
No, I will not look at your face, Mr. Attorney. I'll come straight directly.
No, look at my face. Don't look at the camera. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'll look at you straight away. The reason is because at least I have a much insightful of the kind of person Mr. President is. Yeah. And his job is to look after every Nigerian of that country. Yeah. Every citizen of that country. That's his job, right? Yes. Now, the point is that I wouldn't sit down here and be talking to you like you are saying to me that Mr. President ignored his duty. And he doesn't care, like he just said now.
Did you hear the President make any comment,
just
take any action over the killing of
Mr. President,
Nigeria, including the killing of innocent Nigerians by herdsmen in Nigeria?
Mr. Tunde, when it comes to Nigeria matter is a
serious matter. You live in Nigeria.
Just wait. When it comes to Nigeria matter, it's a serious matter. It's not showbiz.
Yes.
You don't need to see Mr. President jumping up and down everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? But I strongly believe Mr. President and even the state governor, they're actually working to resolve the matter.
Prof.
You understand? So,
yes, well, this is two different issues. And I said in the scheme of things, they need to prioritize. That doesn't mean that they ignore the issues in the north, in Kaduna, to be specific. They say in few herdsmen, as you call them, I'm sorry, this is just beyond few herdsmen. They've turned it to Fulani versus Christian or the locals. I don't know, maybe you've got that report. Fulani doesn't go around with Kalashnikov at the same time having their herds. Where is their family? Where is the children? Where is the wives?
Who has been doing the killing?
We should try to understand this is beyond the border of Nigeria.
So what
the same herdsmen in the east, the same herdsmen in the north?
Yes. Come on. I take it with you. I take it from you. It is beyond the borders of Nigeria. But some institutions are in control of the borders of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, including the custom and immigration. Should the heads of those should not be sacked? If strange bodies are infiltrating into the national country and the government did not sack them but prefer to sack somebody executing his responsibility, should the government not sack the CG of customs and immigration in Nigeria? Exactly. If you say it is not, these are foreign bodies.
Well, one thing we need to come
I don't live in Nigeria. You guys live in Nigeria.
Thank you. One thing we need to come in terms with. One thing we need to come in terms with. I can feel the sensitivity of the issues, but when the emotion winds down, we need to come back to the reality. In the scheme of things, the security of Nigeria is tantamount to the federal government of Nigeria, so as well as the state. And they need to put things into scale of preference. What comes first? Who says they are not working towards ensuring our borders, our frontiers?
Okay, so they are working. For the government to prove to us that is on top of the religious crisis that was about to blow open in Nigeria, for government to prove to us that it was on control, it was in control and on top of it, according to Honorable Suarez, it had to sack Jim Obasi.
No.
Okay, excuse me, please. Excuse me, please.
So why did the government not show by sacking the siege of to show that it's in control of the borders of Nigeria, and for making this head responsible and accountable to it for allowing strangers to infiltrate Nigeria and killing Nigeria?
You see, sacking any of the civil servant, I guess that...
I'm just taking it from your point.
Yes, I'm responding, if you allow me. Sacking any individual that work with federal government of Nigeria or any civil servant, so to speak,
anyway,
I don't think it's too much. We cannot.
The
interest of individual over the... that would be an insult
population.
on 180 million people, Nigerians. So, I mean, we need to look at the big picture. It's not about one individual. We need to look at the whole country.
Okay, give me a picture
the interest of the whole country.
Prof, give me a picture of why the president, according to you, said the herdsmen that were killing Nigerians were not Nigerians. You gave us
we
that
said the
position
herdsmen. This has not been proven. Excuse me,
okay,
please.
but I take it from you that they are not like
so
that.
the cattle rustlers, there's no, it hasn't been proven yet.
Okay, some have said and they are not Nigerians.
And they always go with that tag, the Fulanese.
Okay, all right, great.
Nigerian Fulanese from the north.
Prof,
this goes, yes please.
The federal government has followed your part of line that these killers are not Nigerians. That is the line the federal government has told. You have just told that line this evening. Now, I say to you, Prof, I say to you, if the federal government of Nigeria, according to Honorable Suarez, will avert religious crisis in Nigeria that was about to blow open by sacking Jim Obasi, why did the federal government of Nigeria not sack those that are supposed to be in charge of Nigeria borders,
yes.
i.e. the Controller General of Customs, Controller General of Immigration?
Well, you see,
what is Mr. President looking at? What is he waiting for?
I guess the Mr. President cannot just be going. Maybe he can hire, but he cannot just fire. He cannot. He need to listen to his advisors.
I don't see you as a politician. You're probably not a politician. He is a politician sitting here. Can I ask you to respond? If from you, I didn't create this statement. You created it, and I'm taking you on this statement.
No, you try to hold me on to something.
I know you said it
because you're trying to set me up on something. But it's okay.
No, I'm not setting you up.
I can help you better.
I'm not setting you up.
Don't worry, Mr. Tunde. I will help you better. It's a very, very simple. It's a simple matter here. First of all, the issue of the financial regulation in regard to the churches and the Fulani S-men that you made mention of, they're two separate matters.
Okay.
And you can't put them together.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So
no, you just
no.
Let me take
this
you
is
the sacking of Jim Obasi is a national security.
No. That's not what I said. That is not what I said to you. I will repeat myself again.
In the interest of the country.
You see, whatever you have to do, you know, we heard like one of our governors said sometimes ago. He said that you know, you get to a stage in life where you need to make decision as a leader. And you understand what I'm saying? Because everyone, whatever decision you make at that particular time, it counts on everything.
Okay, gentlemen,
now
we'll go on a short break now. Okay,
now,
then I'll finish, then we'll go on a short break.
Over 180 million, you know, citizens of that country.
Yes.
And we have a very, very sensitive matter that needed to be addressed very, very quickly. National security comes first. And that's what I kept saying to you. But I did not agree with you saying that Mr. President Jim Obasi was sacked. No, I'm not. You're not going to hold me.
Okay, no. Okay, Jim Obasi was not sacked. He was forced to resign. If he was not sacked, I didn't say that.
Or relieved of his post.
Okay, Jim Obasi left on his own position because there was a national security matter at stake. We tagged the national security matter. but the killing of innocent Nigerians in southern Kaduna and other parts of Nigeria as a result of the activities of herdsmen, it's not a national security matter. Is it? Okay, we'll come back to that. We're going to short break. Gentlemen, we're going to short break. This is very interesting. All right. We'll come back. Don't go away. Don't go away.
For any professional live streaming production of any event in the UK, Ben TV Livestream are here to serve and provide you with the global coverage you need anywhere at real time. We are offering a deal to accommodate the local events. Just send us an email for more information at livestream@bentelevision.com or call us on 020-8808-8800. Ben TV, Sky 182, Bridging the Gap.
On Ben TV, I've actually been on the channel, yes.
Ben TV!
All right, welcome back. We are still on Ben Television Live, and the program is still why our religious organization resisting government's control over their finances. I just gave you two instances between 2002 and, of course, 2006. KICC submitted and subjected itself to the charity authority in the United Kingdom and made this paper clear after an action of financial misappropriation. The same thing applies to the General Overseer of the Winners Chapel, Bishop David Oyedepo, between 2013 and 2016, had to submit himself, including the totality of his church in the UK, to the charity government and clear this name over an action of misappropriation of £60 million, every single paper filed in. And so the issue now is why our churches resisting government's control over their finances in Nigeria. And of course, before we went on that very short break, we were looking at the role of the federal government of Nigeria under President Muhammadu Buhari. And I had my guests in the studio that were saying the sacking of Jim Obasi was in order or was not in order. Some said it was a national security, and of course that's become an issue in the studio before we went on that short break. The phone line is open now. Join us in the discussion. Let me come to my guest, Fatai.
Yes, actually, we have to understand that there is an interconnection here. An issue is going on, in the past weeks in Southern Kaduna, which has to do, as my professor put it rightly earlier on, which has to do with a collision between the herdsmen and the Christian fold in Southern Kaduna.
Yes.
Now, the heat is on, and all of a sudden, somebody is trying to take a decision that is affecting an already battered ego, that is Christians being massacred. And now, as the cries are still on, the head of one of the most important religious body in Nigeria being
Should you say important
forced, most influential even in the world, now being forced through the action of government to relieve his post. So it goes to show that security, yes, because the government was thinking, if at this point in time, a law is being put into action which affects the churches, and which now forces the head of a unit of Nigerian churches to step back. Definitely, for Adebayo to have stepped back is going to hurt the ego of the RCCG community. And so, this connected with what is happening in Southern Kaduna might infuriate more crisis in Nigeria, which has now connection with security. But the hypocrisy here is, if as being claimed by the government, those carrying out those killings are from outside Nigeria. Why, as you rightly put, are both immigration, the police, and the customs are not be taken into task? Why is it that let's remember that the Christian community in Nigeria for several years have been over-pampered by the government, because no regulatory bodies to actually control their financial the financial condition of those churches. So it's not overdue. So the action by FRC leader is justified in the hearts of many Nigerians, because we know that for a very long time we have many of these organizations, Christian bodies, have universities that even only common people can't even go to. Most people who go to the universities are children of millionaires. So a lot of things needs to be done to regulate the religious activities in Nigeria, which actually this guy is being given the responsibility to do.
Country. Even in the UK.
This guy is being given the responsibility, and he has carried out the responsibility that he has been given to do. Why does it need to be sacked? Why those who are responsible for security, like both the head of the customs and the head of immigration, are still, retaining their positions?
I put you on hold. Let me take Kayode. Kayode, thank you for joining us on the program. Good evening, Kayode. Good evening, Kayode. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from London today.
All right, thank you so much, Kayode, for joining us. Go ahead and make your point.
Yeah, well, what a very interesting topic you guys have got on today. I mean, I think I was reading a report yesterday regarding the fact that how there's almost about 2 million registered churches in Nigeria. And, you know, churches plus mosques and, you know, in totality, all house of faith or faith bodies in Nigeria number up to the tune of about 5 million different entities. And in that same report as well, it was observed that actually there are less than 1,000 manufacturing bodies left currently in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, the dichotomy here is very simple. This house of faith, which are generating thousands and thousands of naira or millions.
Did you say thousands? Or you want to say hundreds of millions?
Exactly. They are absolutely all tax-free. All tax-free. Whereas industries which will benefit the community and benefit the society, which are up to which are less than 1,000 left now, most of them have all had to shut down based upon the heavy taxation policy which the federal government operates within Nigeria. Now, this is the question. So if Jemobaze was out to review these bodies and the federal government deemed it fit to step in, then I'm afraid that entity called Nigeria hasn't started. In dealing and tackling with the issue that goes down to the core of Nigeria, which has been so endemic over these years, then we haven't started at all. We haven't started at all. for a population which is yoked under abject poverty and penury, if the government deems it fit that any attempt of reformation will be startled, i.e., in the form of this forceful exit of somebody who believes that, you know what, let's reform this sector of our society, then I don't think, you see your panelists sitting down there. I'm very sorry, Tunde. You and I live in the United Kingdom here. We know how it works. We live in a land whereby the law works. You understand? A friend of mine was telling me that, you know, Carl, you know, if there is heaven and you get to heaven, you know, before you see one Nigerian in heaven, you will see more than 1,000 white men who, whilst they were alive, they didn't even believe in Jesus. It is your heart. If Nigerians are not ready to open up their hearts, do you understand, and reform themselves and allow reformation come from within, then I'm afraid we are still deceiving ourselves. We're deceiving ourselves into the point whereby your panelists are sitting down there now, smiling and laughing over an issue of human beings being killed in Kaduna. The question which I ask is very simple, sir, Mr. Tunde. Is Kaduna a border state in Nigeria, or is it a landlocked state?
Okay, Kade, can I just ask you to leave my guests in the studio out of this? They are expressing their opinion, which they are absolutely entitled to. Just give me your opinion, now we'll take it on.
Them in any form or shape or manner. I absolutely commend their view. I respect their view. Do you understand? But the point is, we should start telling each other the truth. Kaduna is a landlocked state. Okay? The federal government cannot come up with a cock and bull story and tell us that, based upon their security report, those who are carrying wanton killings in Kaduna, a landlocked state, a state that does not border any Niger, Benin Republic, or Cameroon, or Chad, a landlocked state that is foreigners who are fine, foreigners can come. But what about those states which those foreigners would have had to travel before getting to Kaduna? Are you saying Christians? I can guarantee you there is no state in Nigeria that Christians don't live in. No state, the whole 36 states in Nigeria, there is no state which is exclusively for Muslims. We have Christians and Muslims in all states in Nigeria. Why is it in Southern Kaduna people are being killed based upon their faith?
Okay, Kayode, I need to let you go. I've got calls waiting on the line. Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you for your insightful contribution on the program. Thank you, Kayode, for calling into the show today. Thanks a lot. Prof. Cardinal, according to Kayode, is landlord, not bordering anywhere. Now, let me take you on this, Prof. Sincerely speaking, if the federal government will sack Jim Obasi because of a pending religious crisis that has not even taken the life of anybody, it has only resulted in the resignation of a man that is powerful and influential. But the government will not sack the Controller General of Customs, who is responsible for securing our border, not sack the Controller General of Immigration, not sack the Inspector General of Police, not even question the Defense Minister. Look, Prof, what is the national, what do you, I mean, you said we don't know what is going behind the scene. What could be going on behind the scene that could be of more important national security in this matter?
Thank you very much. Let our starting point be, we need to look beyond Kaduna. We shouldn't be forgetful. It wasn't quite long ago.
Yeah, Chris, let me put you on hold 1 minute. 1 minute so that Prof can respond.
The same cattle rearers.
Don't go away, stay on the phone, please.
Fulani cattle rearers, quote unquote, as they say, in Ekiti State. The same cattle rearer in somewhere there in the east, I guess in Enugu or in Anambra or so.
Yes.
The same cattle rearer in Benue. The same cattle going all around Kalashnikov. Should I ask you a question? Maybe we shouldn't kind of play on the sensitivity of the issue or the topic, and we shouldn't get sentimental about this. Did you know the price of Kalashnikov? The price of Kalashnikov in Nigeria, be it black market or for them to have a Kalashnikov, it costs 400,000 naira.
Okay, so
How much? Excuse me, please. Did you know? So mean to anyone that knows about Fulani culture or Fulani as a people.
okay.
And again, we mustn't forget, when you say Fulani, that wasn't synonymous to Muslim. We have Christian Fulanis.
Of course, I've not said
in the same Nigeria.
I'm only saying people.
One thing we
Nigeria.
need to understand is this, as I've said earlier on,
Yes.
is beyond the border of Nigeria.
Okay, who are the people responsible for securing the borders of Nigeria?
If you allow me to close my statement.
If that is the position you're giving me, that is beyond the borders of Nigeria, some people are responsible for securing the borders of Nigeria.
The government, excuse me, please, there's a statement I'm trying to make. We need to enlighten us here. Again,
Chris,
the price of Kalashnikov is at least 400,000 naira.
Yeah.
How much on average, how much is a head of a cow in Nigeria? And if you don't know, in Fulani's culture, cow means a lot. For him now to sell, how many cows is he going to sell to get one Kalashnikov? That should be the question.
Okay.
So all I'm trying to say here is this, is beyond, is not carrying that hallmark Fulani doesn't mean to be Fulani. That's one thing we need to come to terms with. So mind you, we are still dealing with that very problem that hasn't gone yet, which is Boko Haram. Who says it's not Boko Haram moving cows and cattle, I know, masquerading like I see, these are the cattle raiders and cattle raiders. We need to look into.
So you are saying this is, there could be Boko Haram?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
okay,
indeed.
Please, go on. Thank you, Chris. Yes, good evening. Thank you for holding on. Where are you calling from this evening?
From Italy.
Thank you, Chris. Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
I'm sorry to disturb you people. I'm happy for this conversation. The problem with Africa generally is like we don't know what is democracy. About the killing of the Sultan Kaduna, we keep people like rats. If the people insult us, we will grow annoyed. I just pray, Buhari should be wise enough to hand over to a military man who can take off that country very well. Because we need to be straightened, because we don't know what is democracy. I don't know if people understand. We don't know what is democracy. We need to give chance to the army, for somebody like Idi Agbon, who we need higher hand. Not this one we are doing. Look at a person like Saraki, we sit there without resigning. So many things going wrong in Nigeria. Then we still come up and say, hey, the white is insulting us. We need to, it is the way we lay our bed, we lie on it. Let Buhari hand over to a real military man to handle that country. Because the corruption is so much.
Okay. All right,
because
all right, Chris.
Know what is democracy.
Yes,
that's all I have.
That is your opinion. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris, for your contribution. But I do believe that the price of military intervention and coup is greater than democracy, because when you are under a military rule, there's no voice for anybody. Nobody can talk. Even this one that I'm here talking is because I'm in UK. If I did Nigeria, military man, we know waiting go happen. So the freedom we have to talk against Buhari is because we have democracy. The price is cheaper as against military coup. That's your opinion, but we think let's have this democratic system in place so that we can keep speaking, so that the government will listen to us. All right? Thank you, Chris, for your opinion and for your contribution. You are very much entitled to it. Fatai.
Well, we actually have to understand something about Nigeria. We are under a sort of religious siege. And I say come back to that fact. Boko Haram is in charge, according to my professor.
Yes.
Who are supposed to tackle the issue of the Boko Haram if not the government?
But did the government not tell us? Let me put you on hold. Let me come back to Honorable. Yeah. The government told us that Boko Haram is defeated. Yes. But Prof just told us now. Prof just told us now that the killings in southern Kaduna and other places may have been carried out by Boko Haram members masquerading as herdsmen.
Well, there are two different versions to this story. Number one, I will caution both of you.
No.
No.
I've just told my viewers. That
will.
you are entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
You can't caution your.
The reason why I said that is that
he's entitled to his opinion.
Every information you give out, you need to get your fact right.
Yes. What is the fact?
You cannot just leave.
No, give us the fact. Now, go ahead. Give us the fact.
That's
why you're here.
If you don't understand what Prof is saying, what it basically means is that anything could have happened along the line. Maybe Boko Haram is coming as a form of disguising themselves to come in another different way. You never can tell. So that's what he's simply saying. He's not concluding saying those guys.
Why are you
are
speaking
Boko Haram.
for? Why don't you just express your own opinion?
Because you made mention of prophets.
I'm just referring to him.
You refer to it, so I need to attend it. So, in my opinion,
okay, Prof, do you agree with Honorable?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Okay. Yeah, he's just concord.
Mr.
Do I have a call coming? I've got Ola on the line. I've got Ola. Ola, thank you for waiting. Ola, good evening. Go ahead, Ola. Good evening, Ola.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you for joining us on the show. Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Plumstead.
From?
Plumstead.
Oh, from Plumstead. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, I'm just so worried. Hello?
Yes, go on.
Yeah, I'm just so worried about. I listened to the governor, the Kaduna State Governor, Rufai. What he's saying is that the people killing is going to compensate them. First of all, he said he doesn't know them. But he said, oh, Fulani, if we do anything to the Fulani people, they will come back and retaliate, even to their second generation or third generation. So what he's saying is that what these people did, is happy about it, and he will pay them as well for killing the Christians or killing Nigerian people. I just received a text on my WhatsApp. If you got phone number that I can send that message to you, it's very, very worrisome. I don't know whether it's true, the message, or it's lie. But if I can send it to you, if you send me a phone number, if I can get a phone number to forward it to you, if you read it, I don't know. I don't know where we're going in Nigeria anyway. I pray that God will take absolute
all right,
control.
Ola, thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you for being part of the program. Honorable, yes, you want to respond?
Yeah.
No, don't worry. We're fine. I think my producer is just showing me that he's got almost what we don't know what you're talking about. There are messages going around. We cannot confirm or deny or accept. All right, thank you so much. In 1 minute. I need to go now. Honorable, in 1 minute.
What I'm saying in summary is that it's not every information you get that are actually true. You know, the most important thing is that
which one is not true of the information?
Our president, even the state governor, they're doing their best to actually make sure that at least the matter gets resolved.
Okay.
And this
Prof,
is the part I want us to look into.
Okay, so. Prof.
Yes, I believe Governor El Rufai will do everything possible.
No, what we're discussing is beyond Governor Rufai. We're looking at President Muhammadu Buhari, who sacked Jim Obasi for trying to resolve national religious crisis.
I would like to.
But will retain the CG Custom, the CG Immigration, and the Inspector General of Police, including the Chief of Defense of Armed Forces, who are like, according to you, foreigners to invade our country and kill innocent Nigerians.
Let me reiterate. You said landlocked. It's true. You can easily slip in from Cameroon to Nigeria, which we all know, or from Niger to Nigeria. So, in a way, what I'm trying to say to you is this, or to the audience out there is this. Government, the federal government is doing everything possible in the common interest of the whole Nigeria, be you Christian, Muslim, Fulani, Hausa, Yoruba, Shekiri, Kanuri, whatever the religion or tribe you're from. So I believe the common interest of the populace is a best interest of the government,
right,
federal government of Nigeria.
You've got 1 minute to quickly finish this.
Well, my appeal to the government is just to actually come to reality about the present Nigeria. Let people have a good governance in Nigeria. Let us be proud of it that we are having. Security has to be handled with this, and we have to feel it abroad that Nigeria is a safe place to come
All right,
to.
thank you, gentlemen. Fatai Ogulubido, thank you for being part of the program.
Thank you, Tunde.
Honorable John Suarez, thank you for being part of the program. Professor Ali, thank you for being part of the program.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for taking some of my fires. All right, gentlemen. We are friends, okay? He's our government, he's our country. All right, so if I can go to the program, my name is Tunde Alabi. Until we come your way again, enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.
On Ben TV, I've actually been on the channel, yeah.
Ben TV!